Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Ahlulbayt Live, a weekly show where we have lively discussions on religious and social affairs. I'm your host, Nasser, and today it's my absolute honor and pleasure to be joined by our dear friend, the legendary, the one, the only Dr. Mahmood Mawjee. Assalamu alaikum, Doctor.
Alaikum salam, bro. Thanks for having me here.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. He's smiling, already illuminating our room.
I love the intro.
You are a legend, honestly, an absolute legend. Thanks, honestly, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be with us today. Now, dear viewers, we already know that we're a few days, maybe 10, 15 days into the new year 2022. And some of us do some reflection to make some resolutions, some New Year's resolutions. But do we stick to these resolutions? Why, on average, it takes about 19 to 20 days for us to actually forget about these resolutions and park them to one side. But today, dear viewers, we have the most amazing guest with us, Dr. Mahmood Mawjee, who's going to talk to us about enhancing our goals and how we can do that through the process of proper goal setting. We'll be providing insights to make achievable goals and how to make them achievable to your life and fit your lifestyle, inshallah.
Cool.
So, Doctor, are you ready?
Always ready.
This guy's always ready.
Always ready.
You started this morning off with some nice affirmations, some nice I ams.
100%.
Why is it so important to start your day off with something like that?
You know, your morning routine, your first 20 minutes of your day is going to set the tone of your day. Science shows that your brain's working in a totally different way in the first 20 minutes. If you wake up, you bang your head, you have an argument with your spouse, you say it's going to be a bad day, you're going to have a bad day. And there's actually science to back this up. So the first 20 minutes of your day, I always say, in each and everyone on my coach, everywhere, like, my rhetoric, my spiel is that first 20 minutes, it needs to be your day. It needs to be your time of the morning when you dedicate to yourself, not your wife, not your kids, not anyone but you. And it needs to be such a powerful morning routine that you become that warrior. Because for me, I believe in life that every day when you go out, you're fighting a battle.
Yes.
And just like any warrior who goes into battle, they've got to wear their armor.
Of course.
If they don't wear their armor, they get killed.
Yes.
And life's like that.
Yes.
And your armor is your morning routine.
SubhanAllah.
And for me, that's what the morning's about. So 100%, the mornings are the most important part of your day.
SubhanAllah. See, I told you, this guy's an inspiration. Doctor, let's dive straight into this discussion, as we have already. We've got a short amount of time, and I don't know if we can cover everything, but let's try. So, what's the difference, can we start by saying, between that kind of wafy, fluffy little resolution that normally people make and setting that goal, that aspirational drive? What would you say is the disparity between the two?
Great question, right? And it comes back to, why do most people forget about their goals on day 21 or day 17 or day 16? Why does that happen? When something's powerful enough, when something's big enough, we hit it. Yeah, there's a pull. Like, the bigger your goal, it's like a planet, right? The bigger the planet, the bigger the gravity, the bigger the pull. The way I look at it, right? We set goals as if we were setting our goals, or we set goals based on the people around us. So you know what? My friend's losing 10 pounds, so maybe I should lose a bit of weight as well. Or they want to, they're the way we set goals. My point is that, what if you set a goal so big that Allah set your goal? Like, if Allah was setting your goal, what would that goal be? Do you think it would be to lose 10 pounds? No, like, it would be a totally different goal.
That's right.
Secondly, a lot of the goals we set, we're taking things away from us. So I want to lose weight. I want to do things right. I want to, what if we had a more powerful goal? Like, I want to be stronger. I want to be fitter. I want to be able to do this. So when I look at goal setting, I have a different methodology which I use. I don't know if you're going to get into it, but for me, it's like you set yourself, to be honest, a massive, massive, powerful goal. Like, huge. Yeah. Like, if Allah was setting your goal, what would it be? It would be 10 times what you set your goal at.
Of course, I think so.
So why do we set, so we set a goal based on the person we are. What if we could base the goal set on the person we want to become? That person sets bigger goals, right? That's the person we need to be. When we set goals from that person, it's totally different.
Yeah, with that mindset of almost like, sometimes we set goals with that image that we're going to fail. So if you knew you would never fail at anything you would do, how big would your aspiration be?
But I'm gonna counter you on that, if that's okay, right?
Go for it.
That I'm gonna say, right, that what if instead you knew you were gonna fail, but you're happy to fail because you knew failure was growth, right?
True.
So you know that if you set a massive goal, the reason we don't set massive goals is because if we do and we don't hit it, we feel bad. And because we feel bad, we let ourselves down. And that's where we look at life, right? And what that comes down to, it comes down to our self-esteem. That self-esteem is normally when you only feel good, right? And we normally feel good when we're when things go right for us, right? But what if your self-esteem got wrapped up around growing? Yeah, and so you knew that if you fail, that's actual growth. And what if you actually believed that, like really believed that?
Yeah.
Then you could set a massive goal. Because if you set a goal here and you hit it, you feel good, right?
Yes.
But you could set a goal up here and still go here and not hit it, and you feel bad. But what if you could actually enjoy setting that goal up here and actually missing it because you know you've grown so much more than setting a smaller goal? That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
That, like, what if we could use failure in order to push us through?
Yeah.
But we weren't taught that when we were younger.
Course.
We've heard the quotes, right? Oh, failure is good, this, that, but that. Like, how many of us actually believe it?
Of course.
How many of us go out searching to fail every single day?
No,
we don't.
We don't, not at all.
But you'll only, like, the thing is, right? You'll only do well at things you've done before. So by nature, the things you've done bore are never in your growth span.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you've already done it before.
That's right.
So when you want to do something new, it's new.
Yeah.
And by nature of being something new, something you've never done before. If you've never done something before, you're never going to be good at it. So you more than likely fail.
True.
Right? Okay. So we always set goals based on the fact that we want to hit them, so we can feel good. But they're never out of growth, because out of growth we're going to fail.
Yeah.
And we don't like to fail.
But
right?
there's no growth without pain, right? You have to go through that struggle
Yes.
to feel that growth.
Yeah, but we find it hard.
Yeah.
We find it hard to fail, and we find it hard to grow. So what we do is we stay here and we don't live there.
So is that human nature or is that human nurture?
Most of it is nurture.
Nurture,
Yeah,
right?
it's not nature.
It's what we see around us. It's how we're kind
If
of
it was
brought
nature,
up.
if it was nature, that would be wrong. Because then what we'd say is, Allah has put inside of us that we're not meant to grow. But Allah has put inside of us, Allah has put us on this earth because He wants us to grow.
Yeah.
And He wants us to become the best versions of ourselves. Like, my rhetoric, when we die, we're going to be asked, like, how many Allahs did you have, how many books did you have, who your prophets were, but also, why didn't you become the person I gave you to be? Why didn't you live your gift? I was worried about failing, I was worried about next door neighbor would say, what about what people at mosque would say?
Yes.
It's like, come on, God's going to go, really? Like, Allah's going to go, really? Like, that's it.
Yeah.
And for me, it's all about nurture, the way we were brought up and the people around us.
Yeah, definitely. Alhamdulillah. So, bringing it back to goal setting, a lot of people look at a goal, Doctor, and they say, I'm going to goal set for my new career. I'm going to goal set a financial goal. But there's so much more than that in terms of goal setting. Can you explain to us the kind of areas that you can look at in your life to set the goal for?
Cool. Okay, right. So the way I goal set is what I want each and every one of you to do, right? What camera we're on that one, right? Okay.
You're there.
Yeah, okay. What I want each and every one of you to do is I want you to sit down and get a piece of paper later on this evening, and I want you to write down a letter, and this is a letter to yourself, okay? And it starts with your name. So like for me, it would say Mahmood was, okay? And this is a letter which would be read out after I died that my family would read about me. Okay, and this is about all the things that I became, all the things I wanted to do. What is it that I want to be remembered for when I die? Like really, like what do I want to be remembered for? What kind of person do I want to be?
Yeah.
Right. What if your goals were set from that? Then you ask yourself, to become this kind of person, it may take me 50 years. I get it.
Yeah.
But what do I need to do in the first 4 months of the new year, Jan to April, to be able to get one step closer towards there? Right? That's the way I would start. I would set a goal which is so big, and then because the point of a goal isn't to hit it, but it's the person that you become along the way, right? So we all hear that, but what does that actually mean? What that actually means is, if you set a goal, many of you have set a goal before and you've hit it and you've thought, is this all there is? Maybe it's like a financial goal, right?
Yeah.
And you get there and you're like,
is that it?
Is that it,
Yeah.
right? Because the reason is, the point of the goal is the person you're going to become. So if you set a massive financial goal, so for example, if you said that you wanted to be a 7-figure person, right? What does that mean? That means that to become a 7-figure person, what kind of person do you have to become? You can't be someone who wakes up at 8 a.m. every day, right? You've got to be a great leader. You've got to be a great parent. You've got to be great everything, right?
Yes.
So it's what does it do for you? So once you set the goal, there's certain areas of your life you look at. That what kind of person do you need to become? So personal development.
Yes.
What kind of health do you need to have to get that goal? Because you won't be able to reach that goal with the same health you have right now, right? What about your wealth, right? What about your marriage, right? Because there's no way that you can grow to that level without your marriage growing, right? So my point is, set a goal which is huge, but base it on the person that you need to become, and let that be your driving force for a goal.
Amazing.
And not just, I'm losing a bit of weight, I
Yeah.
want to make a bit more money.
Yeah.
And be so specific about what you want that to be.
Yes.
Because specificity is massive.
It's massive.
Yeah.
Because when we look at things and you're using the word specific, the SMART goal, the anagram, smart, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound.
Yeah.
It's important to break that goal down into those particular areas as well, so then we can have focus and concentration. Once you've formulated the goal in that particular way, how then do you drive? How does that push you forward?
See, a goal which needs to push you forward isn't a strong enough goal. Like there's two forces, right? The one which pushes you and the one which pulls you. You need to break something which pulls you, right? If you set something which is so amazing, something which you aspire to be so much, you'll be driven by it. And it's not something which every day, because motivation doesn't last, right? Like it's tough. Because when you want to hit that goal, there's going to be days you don't feel like it. The days are going to be tough. It's going to be tough waking up at the time as you want, becoming that person you want to be, right? There has to be more than that. It has to be something which is going to pull you forwards, right? So that's my point. It just has to be great. Like, it's not inspiring, right, to lose 10 kilograms, right? But to be fit enough to run around, to do 5 kilometers in 30 minutes, now probably that's inspiring enough for some people, right? Let that be your goal. But to be able to do that, what kind of person do you need to become, right? It's not just about running faster. It's about, you've got to eat better. You've got to lose weight. You've got to, like, all these things go in, and then you can hit that goal.
It's that discipline that surrounds it, right?
100%.
And that self-discipline can drive you in so many different areas. Amazing, amazing. We often get asked, am I able to set a goal around my spirituality, to my connection to Allah? And we've been asked some questions which I'll go through with you from our Instagram page today. But a few of them that I pick out from memory is about increasing my connection with Allah, my spirituality, visiting Karbala, doing my ziyarah. Can we set goals around this kind of connection and spiritualness?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And every, like, even if you set a health goal, it's actually a spiritual goal, right? Because, like, the way I look at it, that the whole journey of life is to grow, right? In every aspect of your life. Health, relationships, marriage, everything, right? So everything is actually a spiritual goal. Like whatever you set, it's a spiritual goal because you're growing. Doesn't Allah want you to get healthy?
Of course.
Does He want you to have a better business?
Yes.
Does He want you to serve more people? Does He want you to have a better marriage? 100%, right? Become a better dad, a better mom, like 100%. I believe everything is spiritual. Some things can be more tangibly spiritual. Like I want to spend more time praying, fair enough, right? Okay. But everything that anytime you're moving forwards, that's spiritual, because it is.
Yeah, definitely. So you're kind of living your life to your fullest or fuller potential than you were before. So you're not the hamster on the wheel going around living in your comfort zone. Once you step out of that comfort zone, you're almost, that growth within you is spirituality.
It's hard.
Yeah, that's it, exactly.
But
it's very hard. I mean, tell the viewers how hard it is.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's just like, this is it. When you take that jump off the cliff and your parachute only opens when you jump, and it's tough. Because what you have to have is faith that Allah's going to catch you. Allah's going to put that wind under the parachute,
it's
right?
Keen, isn't it?
And then, you may not have a soft landing, you may break a tooth, you may break a leg, whatever, but you'll get there. And I remember clearly, right? So my journey was, I was a dentist for 14 years, 7 years I loved it, 7 years I hated it. And then it's, I realized there's more to my life than this. And I realized if I died like this, I would lead a very, very, very unfulfilled life. Wow. So I had to go on this journey. So I know how to say I'm talking from experience that I know it's tough.
Of course.
Growth is tough.
Growth is hard, definitely. Often we know that there's going to be knockbacks on the way. So you might set this goal, this desire, this dream, whatever it is, and you get a knockback, you get an obstacle, a roadblock along the way. How can we prepare ourselves for that obstacle? Maybe have some insight into what possibly could be the obstacle. How do we climb over it and keep focused?
Great question, right? When you say that, there's two things I look at. Number one, that the drive to that goal has to be massive. So the goal you have to set has to be inspiring enough to be able to overcome that hurdle. Number one. Number two, that goal needs to be specific enough. The reason being, the way the mind works, say I said, Neil, go and touch the wall in this studio, right? So you'd start walking that way. And if I put the chair in front of you, what would happen is you'd see the chair in front of you, so you just go to that part and then you touch the wall over there, okay? The obstacle came, and then you moved. If I said go and touch that part of the wall over there, when the same obstacle comes in your way, you will go past it and you'll go and touch that part because your brain knew where it was meant to go. It won't go somewhere else. So that's why in the beginning, when we said that things need to be specific, okay, clear, it needs to be laser focused. And some of us, we keep goals like, I want to get fitter. I want to make more money. I want to be more spiritual. What does that mean?
Exactly.
Does it mean if you're waking up 5 minutes before Qazar time, right? Fajr, and I have to wake up 10 minutes before. Is that more, what does it mean? What does more money mean? If Allah gives you an extra pound, then
that's more money, right?
That's more money, right? So what is that? I want to become healthier. What does healthier mean? Does it mean you want to eat better? Does it mean you want to run fast? It has to be, it really does have to be tangible. Tangible in the way that you have to know that you're going to get there. And also, when the goal's big enough, you have to know that, are you on the journey? And what I mean by that, right? You know, imagine before when before we had sat-nav,
Yes.
right? What would happen, right? So imagine you wanted to get to a town,
Yeah.
and someone told you the way. You'd have certain checkpoints along the way, right?
That's right,
That, you know, there's going to be a McDonald's probably.
This roundabout.
Yeah, there's going to be
etc.
there's going to be like, you know, this big signpost, right? So there's certain check-ins along the way, and so you don't know where the end is, but you know that you're on your way, right? Goals are like that, right? So you set this massive goal, and you're not getting there because it's going to take some time to get to, and at times you can dishearten you. Okay, so number one, failure has to be good, that you know you're going to get there, but you may not get there straight away. But number two, you have check-ins along the way, that you know that, okay, fine, like you have certain check-ins to know that you're getting there. That's important.
Yeah, definitely. 100% important. And it also, I think sometimes when you get to those checkpoints as well, it gives you an opportunity to kind of reflect backwards to see how far you come. And that can also propel you, pull you or push you forward to kind of get to that next checkpoint.
Huge. Gratefulness, right? Looking back, being thankful for where you've come from. Yes, 100%.
Yeah, you're changing that attitude to gratitude, and that really makes a massive difference to what you're doing. Phenomenal. Told you this guy's an absolute legend. SubhanAllah.
Oh no.
We learn a lot from you.
This guy's words are too sweet.
Honestly. Mahmood, what we want to do is we posted on our Instagram page, dear viewers, today a question to all of our people that are looking at us on Instagram. What is your goal for 2022? And can I just go through a few of them just to see whether we can...
That would be great to hear.
So we talked about some of the ones in terms of spirituality. Seek more Islamic knowledge, Shia ethics, tafsir, and inshallah be good as a young person. So,
okay, but again, like, you know, brother, sister, whoever wrote that, I'll be like, make it more specific. What does that mean? Right? Like, let's get it more specific.
So it says to seek more Islamic knowledge and Shia ethics. What does that mean in terms of...
Like, is that a book? Is that a book a week? Is that a book a month? Right? Like, what does it mean? Like, for me, something better than that, something more powerful than that would be, I'm going to read a book a week on this topic, or a book a month. Right? Now, that is okay, fine. We know we're getting there. Whereas here, like, you don't know. And some of the goals are quite vague. And so they're very hard to hit because we don't know if we've hit them.
That's right. You can almost supersede it, or you can't even get close to it. You don't even know, do you?
Or you'll never hit it because it's like, what do you mean? So I'll make it specific.
Make it more specific. Number two, this one I don't think is very specific. To grow spiritually by each passing day and try to study and follow more Islamic laws.
Great goal, right? Beautiful, massive, brilliant.
Massive goal, right?
But again, what does it mean? Like, when you break it down, how do you know? What's your signpost? What's the McDonald's along the way? Right? What's the pillar? What is it? What's the roundabout along the way? That's what I want to know. Are you saying that if you're going to read a book a week, you know you're getting there?
Yes.
Like, what does it mean? If I listen to a book a week, does it mean I'm getting closer?
Yeah, definitely. And I think within that myself as well, and I'm looking at, he or she says, to grow spiritually. Again, what does that mean? Define it. Be more specific about what spiritually means to you and what you want to achieve from that.
Maybe spiritually could mean that when I can sit down, and I can sit down for half an hour after namaz, and I can just think, right? And
meditation, pondering.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
So get that down, get it clear, get it focused, get it real.
This is really good exercise, actually. Thank you so much. You're going to love this one. It just says get fit.
How brilliant is that?
That's great.
Brilliant.
We all want that.
But what does get fit mean?
There you go.
Does it mean have a better breakfast tomorrow morning? Does it mean, do a few star jumps morning? What does get fit mean? I don't know.
So narrow it down again,
like massively. Is it a weight goal? Is it like, I want to lose 10? And if it is, by when? Have that in place. Number two, is it a food goal? Is it a stress goal? Stress meaning that, is it a certain amount you want to run or jog, but like run the marathon, right? Within the next 6 months, whatever it may be. Have something you can work towards. Yeah,
definitely. I think earlier on you said running that 10K in half an hour.
10K is good in half an hour, bro.
I don't know.
I think that's world record.
You can tell I don't run. I run for the bus. That's about as much as I run, honestly. Visiting Karbala, a goal to visit Karbala. I mean, that's quite specific, actually.
How many times a year?
Oh.
Once a lifetime? How many times a year? Like,
wow.
Like, that's important. Like, so we had our first trip to Iraq 2 weeks ago, right?
Yes.
Beautiful. Love it. Awesome place, right? I'd love to go back. And so that goal, massive. But how often? Like, if Allah grants it once in the rest of your life, is that okay? Is that goal hit? Or is it, I want to go once a year? Because, the way the mind works is that, it's like okay, there's a subconscious part and a conscious part of our mind.
Yeah.
And 5% of our mind is the conscious and the 95 is the subconscious.
Yes.
So we only think about what we think about 5% of the time. The rest of the time is just on autopilot, right?
Yeah.
The way the mind works is, imagine there's a factory full of factory workers in your mind, right? When you say something and when you visualize something, when you say that's what I am, that's what I am, or that's what I want, the person then goes, okay, fine. Neil, I serve you. And they'll go and make that happen. Whatever it takes, they'll find it.
Yeah.
You know that whenever you wanted something so bad, you found a way to get it. Yeah, the mind will get you there. So if you just want to go Karbala, it'll find your way to get there. If you want to go every single year, it'll find your way to get there. Maybe the way there is because you need to increase your business. You need 10 more clients a month or 10 more clients a week, or you need a pay rise or whatever it may be, right?
Of course.
You find a way.
Yeah.
So the specificity on the journey to get to where you want is huge.
It's so important. It's so important. I think that resonates with a lot of these other ones. Another one is to grow a small business, my small business, to recite more Quran and to be the best person I can be.
Cool.
So
Love
3 within 1 there. So very good in terms of
grow a small business.
Yeah,
fantastic,
yeah.
right? And one of the biggest gifts that you can give the world is to have a business.
Yes.
Because that's the way in which you can serve other people, right? But what's that business in? How big do you want it? How many people do you want to serve, right? Again, how much do you want it to make?
Yes.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put it down.
You once told me when I was starting my journey, you said to me, the more you make, the more you can give.
Yeah.
And that stuck with me. Like literally, it doesn't matter what I'm charging or how much money I'm making. I know that I can give my time, I can give back to humanity in a certain way. So that was something that really resonated with me. I think that's probably, we'll leave that there. So thank you so much to everybody from our Instagram page that took the time out to, to give some of the feedback. It really helps, inshallah. And later on, we'll probably post a video for Instagram. So let's get back to the topic at hand. I've got a dream. I've got a destination that I want to go to. How am I going to formulate it? Should I use theories like the GROW model? Is there certain practices that I should do to get that down on paper?
So you know where you want to go,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so the way I look at it, again, you set that goal. You set that big goal where you want to be,
Up
right?
here.
Yeah, up here, massive, huge.
Yes.
Not one you're going to hit, but a huge goal.
I want to be like Mahmood Mawjee.
I don't know if that's
Big
a good goal to have, bro.
Big
but
goal.
anyway, okay, a big goal, right? Okay, and then break that down. Okay, that what person do I need to become to be able to get there?
Yeah.
So, for example, let's say, right? I don't know. Let's say it's a business goal.
Okay.
Right? Okay. For example, let's say that a brother, sister out there has a business who's making 6 figures and only gets 7 figures now, right? Great goal to have, right?
Yeah.
Because the more you have, the more you can give.
Definitely.
Right? Brilliant, right? So if that's what kind of person, like the only reason you don't have 7 figures in that business at the moment is because you don't add enough value on this earth to be able to get that much, right? We know that, okay? It's all, okay? So what kind of person do you need to become? When you look at then look at the people around you who've already got that. What kind of person are they? So maybe they wake up earlier in the morning, right?
sound.
Number one, right?
Yeah.
Maybe they read a book a week, right? Maybe they eat better, whatever they may do, right? Now you start creating a blueprint of what that person needs to be like. So that's the personal development part ticked off.
Yes.
Then look at your health. Right? What kind of food does that person eat? Right? What time does he need to wake up in the morning? How much does he need to exercise? What weight is that person?
Yeah.
Right? Like, when you look at that person, what do they look like? By the time you go through that, you go through marriage, you go through you've got a blueprint of what that person needs to look like. And then you go out and do that. But not just that, right? Then one of the most important things is, 2 things is, number one, that you need to surround yourself with people who've already got there and are already doing that,
Yes.
right? When our kids are younger, right? What do we say to them? We tell them, go to school, hang around with the drug dealers and that, don't we? No, we don't. Why?
No.
We say hang around with the best of kids. Why?
Yes.
Because it rubs off on them.
Of course, definitely.
It rubs off on us right now as well, the people who hang around with,
Yes.
right? Okay, so we need to surround ourselves with the people we want to be like. Yeah, find people like that and spend time with them, right? Proximity is power, right? Let it rub off on you.
Yeah.
Get around those people who are already doing it because it rubs off on you. Because you see, like for example, you want to lose weight, go and hang around 5 people who are really fit, right? You're not going to have that burger when you go and eat anymore because you'll be the odd one out when they're eating salad. Right. Okay, fine. So you'll naturally start doing the things that those people do. So what we do is sometimes we set a goal, with the same people we've been hanging around with and nothing changes because everyone's doing the same thing, right?
That's right.
So go and find a new set of people.
Amazing.
Yeah, up your level. Okay, now that'll start getting that to rub off on you. Okay, and number two, make that new version of you your identity. Now, what I mean by identity is, right, look, in this room, we've got air conditioning, right?
Yes.
So it's set to say 23 degrees. So what happens is if the temperature goes up, you know, the AC turns on, it comes down to 23.
Yes.
Yeah. And if the temperature drops, the heaters turn on, it comes to 23. We're set at 23 degrees in here. And our lives right now are set at a metaphorical 23 degrees.
That's right.
When we up our game and we go to a 30-degree person, right? And what happens is if our thermostat's still at 24, no matter how much we try and grow, what happens is we'll always go down to that same level.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you need to create an identity which is based around that new person,
Mashallah.
right? Okay. So if you want to run faster, if you want to run 5 kilometers in 30 minutes, have the identity of a runner. You want to read more books, have the identity of being a reader, right? And you know, we started this off by saying the I ams.
Yes.
Right? That's how it becomes your identity.
Yeah.
So I have this morning habit where you wake up in the morning and you have a list of your biggest I ams.
Yes.
Okay. And then you shout to them every single morning as loud as you can.
Yeah.
Because studies have shown us that the louder you say something, the quicker it embeds into your subconscious mind.
So physically shouting it out loud.
100%. Shout it.
Mashallah.
And also, we've been shown that negativity is 8 times more likely to penetrate your subconscious than positivity.
Yeah.
So when you shout out something negative, which a lot of us normally do,
Yes.
it stays in there.
Yes,
and
we
it gets
do.
in there a lot quicker. So the idea is to be able to create an identity of a person who is the person you want to be.
Wow.
Yeah. Now that is important. That is really important.
Yeah.
Okay. And behave like that person already. Yeah. So wake up in the morning and go for that run every single day.
Yeah.
Not 3 days a week.
Every day.
Not 5 days a week.
7 days.
Why do we pray 7 days a week? What if we'd been asked to pray 5 days a week? What days do you think we'd pick?
True.
What days?
Probably take the weekend off, wouldn't you?
Yeah, or you'd say, I'll do Monday, like you'd split it, right?
Yeah.
But then you'd put it off, and then in the end, you just have 5 days because that's what you've left, right?
Yeah.
Right. But the reason, like, Islam is so based around discipline. Why do you fast 30 days in a row? Like, everything's about every day, every day, every day. And that's why, you know, Islamic discipline is so important, and every day is so important.
Yeah.
So whatever you do, you want it to be your identity, do it every single day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. In that respect, if we link it back to Islam, we link it back to our beautiful religion brought to us by the Prophet, peace be upon him. The practices that him and Ahlulbayt did were almost habitual. So Imam Ali alayhi salam in the middle of the night would go out with a sack of grain on his back and he would feed the poor. Like, so much so that when he passed away, those orphans didn't even know it was him. They missed him. So you can imagine that habitual healthy habit that he had would literally incorporate his life, every part of his life. And you know, that's just one literal point that I'm making in terms of the Ahlulbayt. So when we look at and listen to lectures, majalis about their lifestyle, about what they did, and we try to emulate them by walking into their footprints, surely they are the masters of the goal setters in terms of what they want to do, because their ultimate goal was what? Attain closeness to Allah. Why on the final night, Imam Hussain alayhi salam begged for one more night, and what did he do in that night? His goal was to attain closeness to Allah. Yeah. They say the camp was buzzing like bees, because everybody was literally praying, supplicating, making dua. Yeah. So do we have that in our lives?
Well, we have to, because like these are the people we live by. So let's live by them. And when you look at them, they were like, you know, the masters of goal setting, right? Like, you know, if we look at weight, I don't know, but I don't know if we had an overweight imam. I don't know.
No.
Don't
know.
But I don't think we did, because I think they looked after themselves really well.
Yeah, you think about their diet and what they ate, and you know that I think there was a narration, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, if anyone there, that there was 3 things put onto the Prophet, peace be upon his plate, and he said, why am I being so greedy? I don't think probably use a better word than my simple language, and asked one thing to be removed. He would eat dates and honey or a small piece of dry bread, and yeah, definitely.
And they were fit.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Imam Hussain went out on the battlefield, like, he was a warrior.
Yeah, of course.
He was a proper warrior.
Yeah.
Like, but he had to look after himself. It wasn't gifted body.
No.
Like, worked out, like in that day, whatever the workout procedure was, I'm sure he did it.
Yeah.
Right? So what about if we could take that away? Yeah? Like, what about if we could take that away and understand that, you know what, hey, let's live by their lives like that.
Yeah, of course.
Like, let's create a standard for ourselves which is so high,
Yes.
which we can live by.
Yeah, you're right.
And let's not set goals down here which we're going to hit all the time. Yeah, just because it makes us feel good.
Yeah, aspirationally, definitely. I think that's a really good point for us to make. They say Imam Ali alayhi salam could see 360 degrees on the battlefield.
Okay.
You know, what kind of level of insight would he have needed to have, and how would he have got to that point? We were in Karbala together, in Iraq together, and I was teaching a group of youth, and actually the Maulana of the group, we were doing some meditation in the morning, and I was doing some stretching and some Tai Chi, and he was quite fascinated by that. So I went down into the splits, because I could do the splits, right? And he couldn't even touch his toes. But how do you do that? You know, I said to him, don't take my physical form for the fact that maybe I can't do something. And he was kind of like, not laughing, but thought it was a bit of a funny. So I just jumped up and did a massive spin kick and sort of went around and went that far away from his face. And he was like, wow, you know, it just takes, like you said, it just takes practice, belief, dedication. I've done 14 years of Northern Shaolin.
Can you do that now? Would you?
I'm wired in.
Wired up.
I won't want to ruin your hair either.
That'd be brilliant. That'd be brilliant.
But why I'm saying that and giving that as an example is it's the dedication that you take. If you want to be something or make a change in your life, you have to be dedicated enough to do it. And that blueprint that you talked about setting, that's the blueprint that you need to do.
See, because everyone talks a big game, but how many people actually play the big game?
Yeah.
Right? It's all easy to say, yeah, I want to be fair, I want to lose this, I want to do this. Like, it's talk, right?
Yeah.
And everyone's a talker.
Yeah.
But how many people will actually wake up every single day early at 5 a.m. and go and do what they have to do? Like, how many? Maybe for a day, 2 days, 3 days, a week, a month?
Yeah, exactly.
But what about every single day?
Yeah.
You really want that? Doesn't come easy.
Right?
Otherwise, everyone would have it, and then life would be that simple. But it's not.
It's not. We just had earlier on before the show, we're gifted 86,400 seconds a day.
Yeah.
86,400. It's a gift in our bank account from Allah Azza wa Jal. What do we do with it? You know, do we make the most? How much time do we spend sleeping in our lifetime? You know, and even when we're awake, how much of that is when we're sleeping? Like, we're not conscious of what we're doing. Now, we touched on SMART, because I really want to kind of just go a little bit further into that. And we talked about specific as one of the SMART anagrams. SMART, S-M-A-R-T. So the measurable part of it. How do you look at a goal and make it measurable?
So a lot of the goals which the viewer sent, right? So one of the things we said is that, you know, number one, we need to make it specific. But also with that, how do you know you've got there?
Yes.
Right? So what's the measure? How do you know you're on the right place? How do you know you're going in the right way? What's the measurability of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the specific and the measurable is quite together.
Yeah.
Okay. That specific, what you want, but measurable, how do you know when you're going to get there? Because you have to know when you're going to get there.
Yeah.
Right. So see, a smart model, a great model, but that should be incorporated in everything. And I would also go on to add on to that I would say, you know what? Number one, do you remember at the beginning I said is don't set a goal from the person you are right now, set a goal from the person you want to become, right?
Yes.
That person sets bigger goals. Number two, never worry about the how. So a lot of the times we say, I want to lose 20 kilograms, right? I want to lose 20 kilograms, for example, but I don't know how. And the mind says, well, you've never done it before, and obviously you've never done it before, otherwise it wouldn't be a goal, right?
Yeah.
Okay? So you've never done it before, so it says, well, you've never done it, and how are you going to do it? And then it just turns you away, and then you don't do it. So never worry about the how, but always worry about the what and the why. So the what you've got, what you want to do, and why is it so important?
Yes.
That when you lose those 20 kilograms, what's it going to allow you to do?
Yes.
Maybe it'll allow you to play football with your son in the park, whereas right now you can't really do that. Maybe it'll mean you can walk from Najaf to Karbala rather than sitting on that bus and going, right, whatever. Like, what is it going to allow you to do, right? So the what and the why is huge, but never, ever, ever worry about the how. Also, the other thing I would add to it is, do you know the time frame?
Yes.
So on there's time as well,
Yes,
right? So I said create a huge goal,
Yes.
right? I tell everyone, I tell all my clients, make a huge goal, one that you're never going to hit, that you die trying. But also along the way, have other goals which you know you're going to hit.
Yeah, so sort of milestones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you got to know where you want to go. Where's legacy?
Yeah.
What's the huge plan? What is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you map back towards it, and then from there you make some smaller goals.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, right? Some people go, "Oh, Mahmood, man, this is like so much. Like, what the hell? Like, why do we have to do this? It's fine, right? Like, why wouldn't you do this? Yeah, we spend 2 weeks a year planning a holiday.
Yeah.
And we can't spend 2 hours planning our life.
Exactly.
Like really.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly, right? So, and that great life isn't just going to come by accident. You don't just fall on top of the mountain, do you? You've got to climb up there.
You've got to climb
right?
it.
Fine, you've got to climb there.
Step by step.
Yeah, so you have to plan these things because otherwise you'll turn up at 60 or 70 and you'll be bitter. You won't be better because you'll be, why is my life like this? And it's like, well, your fault.
Yeah.
You didn't plan it.
Yeah.
But right now, each and every one of our viewers listening, us as well, we've got a chance to plan. Yeah. We can plan a massive, amazing life. But sometimes, like, it's hard.
Yeah.
We're worried we're going to fail. Yeah. We're worried about the how.
Yeah.
What if we get rid of all of that?
Yeah.
What if we just say, yeah? Like, what if it didn't work? What if you did it?
Yeah.
You know what? If you had a massive goal and you went towards it, and even if you didn't hit it, you'll have a great life anyway, right? Because you died trying.
There you go.
That's it.
That's it, right?
Yeah.
At least you tried.
That's exactly.
Isn't that a life more fulfilling than not trying?
100%.
Sort of looking out the window all the time.
Potential, right?
Thinking, yes, potential. And
because
growth
every
potential.
day you're never going to hit your potential. I put a video on Instagram yesterday saying you're never going to hit your potential. But what your potential is as long as you're growing every single day, the day you die, that's when you hit your potential.
Yeah.
Right? Because potential can never be reached. Because what does potential mean? It means that next bit.
It's everlasting, isn't it?
Yeah, it's everlasting. Yeah. It's the infinite game.
Yeah.
Right? So you'll never hit it. But as long as you'll die trying. So I always live by two things that I say, two questions we need to ask ourselves every single day, right? Two questions, please. Ask yourselves these two questions every single day. Number one, when you're at night before you go to sleep, right? How have I grown today? Right? How have I grown today?
Great.
Right? And number two, how can I become better tomorrow than what I did today? And I think Imam Ali, if I'm not wrong, mentioned those two, right? I'm not sure where it came from. I think maybe Imam Ali. But those two questions for me are my driving force.
Yeah.
How did I grow today? Like in any, like what parts of my life did I grow in today? You know, marriage, dad, you know, business, with like, what is it? How did I grow today?
Yeah.
And how am I going to become better tomorrow than I did today?
Beautiful.
Like if we can hold ourselves to that level of accountability every single day, like imagine how good 2022 can become for us.
It can be amazing, right?
Yeah,
And we
100%.
can make it amazing.
Yeah.
And then within the SMART, again, I'm sorry to go back to it, we've got the two, I think, which are very similar. It's the achievable and realistic. So I think with the specific and measurable, they kind of sit together. And the achievable, the A and the R, they're quite similar, aren't they? Yeah. So how would we make a goal achievable and realistic? How do we think about that when we're looking at our desire?
See, I don't really like the realistic bit because there's a caveat I'd put on there that if you're going to make it realistic, you're making it realistic from the person you are right now.
Yes.
That's a very small goal.
Okay.
Make it realistic from the person you want to become.
Beautiful.
That's a better goal.
Beautiful.
Right? Okay. So, like, say we took the business example, right? Say you're at 0 right now, you're saying 2 months time I want to be at 7 figures. Not really realistic, right? Not really realistic, right? Okay, I get it. So there has to be some sort of realism in it. But you're realistic now to you're realistic at the end of this year is going to be totally different because by the end of this year, you're a totally different guy, right?
That's right.
Fine. So make you realistic based on the Neil who's going to be there at the end of 2010, 22, not at the beginning of 2022. So that's what I'd say. Yeah? And that's important. That's really important to understand. Yeah? That we normally set goals from where we are right now, but we need to set them from where we're going to be.
Amazing. Amazing. And you've mentioned it a few times throughout this show, this discussion, because it's so important.
Yeah.
And it goes and plays a part, dear viewers, to creating that blueprint of the life that you want to live and a life that you want to change. Is there a different approach for us to take when we are setting goals around different areas? So let's say spirituality, and you said everything links towards spirituality, but say we want to learn to kind of just be calm, be still, do a bit of mindfulness. And is there a different approach that we can take, or is it the same applicable methodology?
See, great question, right? Do you know, I'm going to share a story with you, right? So I shared this when I was speaking at an event in Canada, right? So Mark Zuckerberg was being interviewed by Modi, president of India, right? And then Mark Zuckerberg gave him a story, and he said, when I was growing Facebook in 2009, Facebook wasn't doing very well at all. And I think it was back then that Zuckerberg went to his mentor, who was Steve Jobs. And then he went to Steve Jobs and he asked Steve Jobs, how do I grow Facebook? And Steve Jobs could have said anything, right? Go get VC funding. Steve Jobs said to him, go sit in an ashram, go to India, go to an ashram and sit there for 2 weeks and you'll find your answer. And that's what he did, and he found his answer there.
Wow.
For me, what the takeaway is a lot of the time the answers we're looking for are not in the place we're looking for them.
Yes.
Okay? And so what we need to do is go to a place where we're going to get that answer. And a lot of the time we're looking for what we want to look for, but in the wrong place. Okay, so go to a place where you can find it. You want to become spiritual? Go to Karbala, right? Yeah, go to wherever it is that you may find it. But you won't find it in your house. Because if you would have, you'd have found it already.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah? So your environment is going to be a massive factor. So for example, like, you know, I have a heavy training regime. For me, health is like in 2022, you know, alhamdulillah, health was good, but I said 2022 is going to be the year when if I want to get to my business goals where I want them to be, my physique has to be at a totally different level. Okay. So I found one of the best personal trainers I could find. I paid him up front for a year because that meant that, you know, there's no excuses now and it's done, right? But what we started doing is I started saying that I want to go to a bodybuilder's gym, right? I am a bodybuilder, right? You can see that. But going to bodybuilder,
look pretty good, bro.
But going to bodybuilder's gym allowed me to be around people who are playing life at a totally different level.
True.
Okay. So now when I see them, that becomes my bar. Not that I want to become like that, but they're actually, no matter what they take or this or that, but they're looking after their bodies.
Yeah, and you see you're surrounding yourself.
Yes. And it rubs off on me.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, right? So sometimes you've got to come out of the environment you're in and go into a different environment. Yeah. To be able to get you want. Amazing. So sometimes we're not hitting our goal, not because we're not driven enough, not because we haven't said it right, but just because we're not in the right place to be able to do
that
it.
environment is very important.
You can't get healthy eating in McDonald's all day. You've got to go to a different place to eat, right? Same thing, right? That's the way I look at it. So when you look at that, like if your goal is spirituality, that's fine, but put yourself in a place where you can get that. You don't need to go live there. Take a month out. Take a week out. Take a weekend out. Go, you know, go somewhere. And maybe not even to another country. Maybe find 10 people who you want to be around and go spend time with them. Yeah.
It makes a massive difference, right?
Yeah, huge.
Because that energy, the energy that you get of the aura from people, like you said, the bodybuilders, you're going to surround yourself with that every single day.
Yeah.
That's going to rub off on you.
Yes.
It's going to rub off. Their energy is going to rub off on you. Just sitting here for an hour with you, you know, I feel so inspired, you know, with your energy. You know, maybe I will start going to that bodybuilder gym.
Please come along.
You never know. You never know. So, okay, I'm going to ask you a question, which I know what kind of answer I'm going to get from you. Because we hear a lot about this word called law of attraction. Yeah, it's thrown around all over the place. It's in books like The Secret and everything. It tells you so much about positive out, positive in. Does it play a part in this process?
100%, man. 100%. And you know, from an Islam point of view, it is so right.
Thanks.
Okay? Why? What law of attraction states is, okay, there's two ways of looking at this, right? Law of attraction is that what you think about the most will happen, right? But if you sit at home on your couch and you say, I'm going to be a millionaire, I'm going to be a millionaire, what's going to happen? They'll come and take your couch.
They'll take your couch away, take your house away.
They'll come and take you away to a safe place, right? Sooner or later, right?
Put you in a long jacket with long arms.
Yeah, in a safe place, okay? But what the law of attraction really means is that when you're focused on something, your mind will find a way to get there. For example, right? When sometimes it's happened to most of the viewers, for example, that say you got a new car, or say one of the women got a new dress or something, right? All of a sudden you see other women with that dress on or with that car, and you're like, why didn't I see it before? But because you're focused on it, the mind's now focused to pick more of that up. So if I told you in this room, right, Neil, look around everything and let's find everything which is red, right? You'd focus on the red. And I said, Neil, what do you see which is blue? You're like, I don't know, because you weren't looking for the blue.
That's correct.
Okay, fine. So you will find what you look for in life. Yeah. So when you're focused on something, what law of attraction really means, the science behind that, is that clarity is power, focus is everything. Okay, and where energy goes, like the mind will focus. And you'll find that. Yeah. And it creates that identity that you know. So for example, you want to lose weight. Imagine if every morning you woke up and you said, you know, I'm healthy. I'm healthy, right? And you believe that, and you became that person, and you visualize that person, you will get there, right? Because naturally you will. You'll go around more people who are like that. You'll eat better food because that becomes your identity. So the law of attraction, 100%. 100%.
And then making it practical. So once you're having those affirmations, like that positive energy, holding and capturing that positive energy, and then putting it into play. So moving that either forward, pulling yourself towards your goal, your destination. So utilizing that. This last year, I broke 2 ribs. I fell in the park and broke 2 ribs. And they said it's like 6 months healing time. Don't move, don't do anything. But through meditation, breathing, using the chi energy from within, eating properly, and that positive affirmation, within 2.5 months, I was back on my feet.
Cool. So, see how brilliant is that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, because you believed it.
Yeah, I believed it. I believed it. You know, you can get over the common cold quite easily by not telling yourself, oh, I'm so sick. literally by telling yourself, I am well, I am good.
You know, there's so much science behind this that, you know, I put out a video on my YouTube channel some time ago and I said that, you know, when I was at the dental practice, right? There's times when I didn't want to go in, right? Times when I didn't go in, and there's one specific story where I went in and I wanted to leave by lunchtime and I couldn't because I had a book full of patients, right? Not a good thing to do, but I wanted to leave because I didn't enjoy it there, right? Okay, and that was my journey about why I left, right? It's all out there, so you go to my channel, whatever, you can watch it. You know, grab my book, it's all on there, right? So what happened is I got into the practice and I wanted to leave at 12 o'clock. And I'm like, oh, I'm here till 5, so what do I do? So I'm like, I put my hand on my stomach and I'm like, oh, I'm not feeling well. Right? It wasn't the right thing to do. Okay, it's not good to lie, but whatever, I did. And I had to act like I've got a stomach ache. And I really acted. I was a good actor on that day, right? I really acted it well. When any patient came to me, they're like, oh, I'm like, yeah, you know, whatever. And my nurse, I was like, oh, stomach's hurting, this and that. And what happened is I left at 12. But when I left, you know what happened? I had a stomach ache. And it was a bad, and for the rest of the day, I was crippled, I was in bed. Why? That's what focus was. And whatever you focus on the most will happen. Okay? So, what if we could focus on abundance, on wealth, on happiness, on love, on gratitude? What if they could be our focus points? And not on what's happening in the world right now and what's going wrong and how bad things are. What if we could just change that? So when we talk about the law of attraction, it is massive and it plays a part in our life every single day.
Do you feel that there's a lot of outside influences, some media, for instance, that feed us negativity, that play on our psyche to almost stump our positive energy and almost make us feel like we're suppressed?
Never watch the news, bro.
Thank you so
Never.
much. I don't
Honestly,
own a TV.
Can I tell you something?
I don't own a TV.
Oh, okay, are we allowed to talk about politics in here? Are we allowed or not?
Let's do it. It's my show. Let's do it.
So I made a promise to myself, really, that I'm not going to watch news because there's nothing, and if anything was so big, I would find out from someone I know, right? Right? And so I never really pay any attention to the news, nothing, because it's just enough to be able to drown you, to be able to make you so negative, right?
Totally.
2 minutes of negativity causes 4 hours of immunosuppression. That's science, right? Wow. And some of us have been negative. Some of us have been negative for years. Imagine like how our immune systems are suppressed, right? Anyway, so this morning I decided to watch the news, and you know this thing about COVID and the Partygate, whatever thing, right? Fine. Now that got me so angry because I tell you why. Because I thought, how can someone go out and tell you something when at the back end the government are doing the total opposite? And it actually made me angry. And all day it just played on me, and it actually dragged me down all day.
Wow.
And I wish I'd never seen it. Wow. I can't do anything about it. There's nothing I can do because it's happened. But I watched it. My point is I don't want to turn the news on. Because when you wake up every single morning, so I have a belief stack which I live by. And this belief stack is taken from the Quran, and if any viewers want to know, let me know and I'll send you the ayats of Quran it's taken out from, right? So my point is that if I want to have this great life, by the way, we're good for time still? Cool.
Yeah, we've got about 5 minutes left.
Okay, right. So if I want to wake up every day and I want to have the greatest life possible, I want to have the greatest life possible because Allah's put me on this earth to live my gift and to be the best person I can. So I have to do that, right? So what beliefs can I live by every day? So I've got a belief stack I live by every day. And these belief stacks have been they've been partly taken out of the Quran, so I live by these. Number one, that I wake up every single morning knowing this world is a beautiful place. Like 100%. No matter what's happening in this world is a beautiful place.
It's a gift.
Okay? 100%. Because when I believe the world's a beautiful place, I'll do beautiful things in a beautiful world to get a beautiful outcome. Right? 100%. Right? Number one. Number two, to actually understand that life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. That everything in life, maybe there's not reason in everything which happens, but you can find a reason in everything that happens, right? And what if you can find blessed meaning in everything which happens? You know, what were the 5 most important words Bibi Zainab said, right? All I see is blessings, right? In the worst time of her life, all I see is blessings. If she could live by that, why can't we live by that? Okay, fine. Number two. Number three, that what if you understood that all your skills, your traits, your talents, they're malleable. You can develop any new skills at any time. You can become anyone you want. 2022 can be your year, you can change, right? And number four, that all the hard work you put in now, you may not see it now, but you'll be rewarded for it later on, right? That's the belief stack that I live by every single day, right? And for me, that's kind of my creed that's etched in me. And every single day when I wake up, they're the 4 things I live by. And what that allows me to do, 100%. When we say it every day, it becomes your DNA, right? That's what, when you tell yourself something over and over again, you believe it.
Yeah, of course.
But you know that because we've said loads of things to ourselves and we believe it in the end.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So for me, like, that is the way that I want to wake up. That is the way that I want to live. That is the way I want people around me to live.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, honestly. So in the last thing, I'm just going to ask you, and to the viewers, what gem of inspiration can you leave the viewers with before we end the show?
Okay, gem of inspiration, right? The biggest gift which I can give to you, to tell you to do, is two things, right? Is number one, wake up an hour earlier than you do right now. End of. Okay? Yep. Wake up an hour earlier. There's been so much in our religion which is about the early hours of the morning and how beautiful, and it ties in so good with the 5 a.m. club and things like that. I've started hanging around people in my life who wake up at 3, right? Then, so when I want to wake up at 5 is late, right? Yeah. Okay, fine, right? So wake up earlier. And I know it's hard, but the good things for you are hard, okay? And number two, that first half an hour of your day, give it to yourself, not anyone else. Right? Be exercise, pray, whatever it may be for that first half an hour, but give that to yourself. And if you can do that day on day, every single day, life changes for you.
Amazing.
And everything else falls in its place. But just give yourself the half an hour earlier.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Doctor, thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Where can our viewers find you? How can they get hold of you?
Instagram under my name, Mahmood Mawjee. YouTube under my name. And if you just message the show on the Instagram, or you even Instagram me on Mahmood Mawjee, I've got a 5-hour audiobook. It's on my website. Don't buy it. Let me give it to you as a gift. Just DM me and I'll send that to you 100%. But please listen to it, and please send me your thoughts on how it changed your life. Okay, and the 5 ways to change your life. That's what it's about.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Honestly, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. I told you, dear viewers, this guy is an absolute legend. The energy that I am feeling right now, I'm surrounding myself with people that I love, I cherish, and this guy is my mentor. Quite honestly. Today we've given you some gems of inspiration and wisdom, a blueprint for you to take with your life, inshallah. To take 2020 by your hands and make a difference to yourself. Not only to yourself, to your spirituality and everybody around you. Share, embrace, love, and make that difference today. Thank you so much. We'll be back next week for another show of Ahlulbayt Live. Assalamu alaikum, Jamia rahmatullah, wa barakatuh.
Thanks, bro.